Welcome back, everyone. One batch, two batch, penny and dime, because Punisher is going to cross over in Spider-Man Brand New Day. That's right, John Bernthal is going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Marvel just announced that they were going to be including the character. There are a bunch of other announcements about the movie, so we'll break it all down. Sounds like they got all your notes and they're going to finally start putting Punisher in the movies again. There've been a lot of questions about what they're going to be doing with him in the future. We already know what they're going to be doing with Punisher in general next year because he's going to be in at least 3 different projects. Because the Fantastic Four is coming out next month, we're doing the ticket giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and let me know what you want them to actually do with Punisher in Spider-Man Brand New Day. The real big challenge of this movie is actually going to be doing a solid Punisher PG-13. Like, how do they make him PG-13? If you're not a longtime comic book reader, Punisher's very first appearance in the comics was in Amazing Spider-Man number 129 in 1974. He debuted as the villain of the issue, going after Spider-Man to kill him. It was also a notable issue because it featured Marvel's version of the one above all, the one true god of the Marvel Universe that everybody always wonders if they're going to include at some point. There's always arguments about who the most powerful character in the Marvel Universe is at any given point, but the one above all is literally the most powerful character. There was also some Fantastic Four crossover in that issue, but that's because the 616 Marvel comic book universe, they'd always existed on the same Earth, and Spider-Man had known the Fantastic Four for a long time when that issue happened. That story also featured Green Goblin, Vulture, the Jackal, but in the issue, the reason why Punisher actually shows up is because the Jackal, actual Spider-Man villain, hires Punisher to kill Spider-Man, and at the time, Punisher didn't know anything about Spider-Man, so he just assumed that he was another common criminal, like another supervillain like anybody else. Within the context of the actual movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day, I'm assuming that there's going to be some sort of backstory explaining how the Punisher has no idea who Spider-Man actually is, just knows that there is a Spider-Man in the news that Mayor Kingpin was yelling about during Daredevil Born Again Season 1. If you remember, Kingpin actually name-dropped Spider-Man during Episode 2.
We know how to take care of ourselves. We don't need a gun-toting vigilante who wears a skull on his chest, or a man who dresses in a spider outfit, or a guy who wears devil horns to save us.
Now we can say the reason why he probably did that is because they knew they were going to be putting Punisher, some of these characters, in Spider-Man Brand New Day. They were going to be doing crossover. There have been a lot of rumors about that for a long time, too. Kevin Feige had been teasing how the events of Daredevil Born Again Season 1 were going to set up Spider-Man Brand New Day with all those ground-level characters. Now it's a little bit more clear, like more literal, actual crossover. Within the context of that initial Punisher issue when they're actually going up against each other, Spider-Man actually tracked down Punisher using his armorer, the Mechanic. They've done versions of the character in the Daredevil Netflix series with like the Blacksmith or Melvin Potter, who is a genius mechanic, but Melvin Potter was called the Armorer, and it was based more on the Gladiator character in the comics, also including some soft references that he might have been Stiltman in the comics too. But I think what they're setting up here is the whole idea is that Peter has been nothing but Spider-Man 24/7. Like, he basically subsumed the Peter Parker part of his personality. That's what he erased from everyone's minds. So he's just gone into full Spider-Man mode 24/7 since the ends of Spider-Man No Way Home. Think about all the crap he would have gone through during Daredevil Born Again Season 1 with Mayor Kingpin basically declaring martial law in New York City and rolling out his Punisher task force. Basically going after all vigilantes, declaring war on vigilantes. That was still going on at the end of Daredevil Born Again Season 1. Now it seems like that post-credit scene with Punisher escaping his prison is actually him going off to what's going to be happening during all the things that are going on next year, including the events of Spider-Man Brand New Day. Did not expect that post-credit scene to help set up Spider-Man Brand New Day. You just have to picture Spider-Man swinging around during the events of Daredevil Born Again Season 1, saving people, especially when all the power goes down. If you wonder why there was no actual Spider-Man cameo, like why Tom Holland literally wasn't on screen during Daredevil Born Again Season 1, blame Sony for that. But I think part of the idea is that enough time has gone by since the events of Spider-Man Brand New Day that he's starting to hit an all-time low because he's been separated from his friends, he doesn't have any new friends yet. He literally has nothing else good going on in his life, just going out and saving people. There have been a lot of reports about Bruce Banner Hulk showing up in the movie and then putting him back into Savage Hulk mode because of something that happens during the events of the film, sort of setting him up for Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars for a much bigger Hulk arc.
Enjoy, Mark Ruffalo. No.
So they're actually making it seem like it's going to be Spider-Man and Punisher teaming up against the Hulk during the movie. There've been a couple other rumors about them doing Silver Samurai, a new version of Viper, maybe even some Shang-Chi crossover because the director of the movie was the person who did the Shang-Chi movie and was originally going to do Avengers Kang Dynasty when it was still Kang Dynasty. Shang-Chi and his 10 rings were going to be much more critical to the actual plot when Kang the Conqueror was the big villain. And he's also going to be doing Shang-Chi 2 after he's done with Spider-Man Brand New Day. So it just seems like there are a lot of Asian-themed Marvel characters in Spider-Man Brand New Day, or there might be. A lot of people wondering if they're also going to do Mr. Negative at some point too. But one of the common themes of the movie is that there is a lot of really angry characters that are going to be in the movie. Like you have Punisher, who's pissed off all the time, the Hulk, who is literally a rage monster. And it sounds like they're teasing that for Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and Punisher's influence will try to push him to kill his villains. Like we're getting to that point. Remember Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire in the black suit. Maybe they'll pay off the symbiote suit at some point during the movie. Imagine Peter getting the symbiote when he's becoming his maddest, when he's becoming his angriest, being around the Punisher, the hardcore influence, just pushing him to slowly kill his villains. They have not confirmed who Sadie Sink is playing, but the rumor is that she's playing a multiverse version of Mayday Parker, who they just aged up a little bit, and she'll be the daughter of Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker. Punisher being in the movie, Daredevil maybe being in there somewhere, makes it feel a little more ground level, but there's supposed to be some multiverse elements in it because it is also meant to now set up Avengers Doomsday because it's releasing before Avengers Doomsday. It's going to be the last big MCU movie before Doomsday. Even though Marvel has been getting clowned on for delaying Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars so much, it actually solves some timeline problems for them because originally Spider-Man Brand New Day was meant to take place before Avengers Doomsday, but it was releasing after, so they had to juggle the plot of the movie and try to explain at the end how things all synced up so that it all made sense. But now they don't need to worry about that at all. They can just have a really big Avengers Doomsday post-credit scene setting up the movie again like they do at the end of the Fantastic Four movie, and it'll totally make sense.
Dr. Doom's unrestrained use of power will soon tear the fabric of reality beyond repair.
Just imagine Peter at the beginning of Avengers Infinity War with his Spidey sense acting up, then boom, slam to black, end of post-credit scene, and then the next we see he shows up in Avengers Doomsday. One of the other funny callbacks here too with John Bernthal showing up in Spider-Man Brand New Day is that he and Tom Holland actually helped each other on the set of their Pilgrimage movie audition for their first Marvel roles. So this was back when Tom Holland was up for Spider-Man in Captain America Civil War, and John Bernthal was first up for Punisher in Daredevil Season 2 on Netflix. So John Bernthal jokes that he actually feels responsible for Tom Holland actually getting the role of Spider-Man, like he should get a little bit of credit for him actually getting the Spider-Man part. They're literally actually starring together in Christopher Nolan's Odyssey movie as two completely different characters, completely different contexts, but it is funny how they're doing so much stuff together. They've worked together so much before in non-Marvel stuff, and now we're going to see them together on screen inside the MCU. So it just sounds like they've been friends in real life for a long time now. Really what we need to figure out now is what they're actually doing with the Hulk during the movie and what happens to push him back to Savage Hulk. Back when people were thinking that Mr. Negative was going to be in the movie, they actually attributed a lot of Hulk going back into Savage Hulk mode, like losing the Professor Hulk going back into Savage Hulk, all because of Mr. Negative's powers. Also the idea that the Punisher's villains are mostly mob-based villains, like he's mostly in mob-based stories, so maybe there's an element of that during Spider-Man Brand New Day. Right now, the schedule for Punisher next year is the Punisher Special Presentation, which is sort of like a short movie, kind of like Werewolf by Night, like an hour-long Punisher movie, but on Disney+. That might get released earlier in the year before Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Punisher's then supposed to return in Daredevil Born Again Season 2 along with Jessica Jones. Like we've been getting all this Jessica Jones footage of them filming scenes together for Season 2. Maybe Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and more Defenders reunions during Season 2 as well. The showrunner teased that there would be more Defenders stuff going on in Season 2. Daredevil's army that he needs to put together.
We're just defending different neighborhoods. Together.
That Matt Murdock shit.
Putting together a team looking for all the other Marvel ground level characters in the New York City area. Then after that, we know that Punisher is going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day, which currently is still supposed to come out at the end of July. They have not delayed that yet. I don't expect them to delay it that much more either. But as far as I know, Punisher is not supposed to be in Avengers Doomsday, but they haven't said anything about Secret Wars, so we will see about that. If there is Punisher action in Secret Wars, maybe because of the whole multiverse aspects, Battleworld, they'll bring back the Thomas Jane Punisher. That would be the place to bring him back for a cameo if you're going to bring him back at all. But everyone, post all your reactions in the comments below. Let me know what you want them to do with Punisher during the events of the movie. Just expecting him to go up against Spider-Man briefly at the beginning because he doesn't really know who Spider-Man is, like they're not friends. And you have to imagine the way the Punisher reacts to everyone. Like, even when Daredevil shows up, he actually tried to kill him briefly until he had to remind him, dude, it's me, it's Matt. That is kind of where we're at with the Punisher right now, so just expect that kind of energy when he meets Spider-Man on screen. There's a bunch of stuff coming up, so I'll do more videos for the movie when we actually get more details, especially what's going on with Hulk, what's going on with Sadie Sink's character, and when they confirm some of the actual villains. Everybody also let me know which other big Marvel TV characters you actually want to see show up in the movies now that have not already or aren't supposed to yet. There's a bunch of stuff coming up. They just announced a really big X-Men movie. Click here to learn what's going on with that, and click here for all my new Superman videos too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.